Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So today we will be learning Python generators. So generators are a special type of function that allows you to generate sequence of values over time. So let's get started. So for this video, I'll be using Colab, Google Colab. So it helps you to write the Python code on the browser. Very strong application. So let's get started. So as I already explained you, generator allows you to generate sequence of values over time. So it's basically help you to create an iterator function. So iterator function is again an object that help you to loop over the values. But the difference is it takes values one by one. So for an example, let's create a list here. So if you have seen a range function, so range function is an generator function. So it generates values. So let's say if I go 1 to 10, so it's again a generator function. It generates values one by one. But if I convert so that to the list, and when I say so, it generated a value, but all these values are actually stored in the memory as a list, and it consumes a lot of memory. So, but how the generator works is it doesn't store all the values. It's stored one by one values, and when you require a value, you can use the next statement to get the next value. So let's see how actually we can write the generator. But overall, generator help you to save a lot of memory, and also it help you to run your function faster. So that's two important advantage of generator. So let's see how we can write a generator function. So let's create our first generator function. So my generator, let's say I name it. Okay. So in the generator function, actually, it doesn't have the return statement. So yield statement is used rather than the return statement. So I'll just say yield 1, let's say, and then yield 2. Oops, missed the D. And then again yield 3. Okay, so this is my generator function. So let's call this function my generator. So what it will do is so it shows the memory that this generator function is stored in this specific memory location. So now let's call this function to return the value. So as I mentioned here, generator function doesn't have the return statement, it has the yield statement. So when you call this function, the yield will return the value. So let's say if I want to call the value, so gen1, okay, my generator. Okay, now the generator object is stored in this gen1 variable. So now to print this, I just have to go to the next gen1, and then when I run this, what's happened, it picked up the first value. So that's the beauty of this function. So it it goes to this first value, and it pauses there, and then it will pause until I comes back and call the next again. So let's say if I go and call the next again, so now it goes back so to yield 2, because it's stored that in the memory, that most recent value, it keeps the state of that, and it return the next yield. And then if I go here, so again it return the next yield. So that's the beauty of this, like you can slowly move over one by one value. Now let's say if I run this again, so when it exceeded the number of items, it just break there, and then you get an exception. So stop iteration 1. So that's the way it works, but we can basically catch this like by a try catch, or we have another way when we go through the loops. So I'll create another video for how to catch these errors in the Python. But yeah, but that's the way, like when it reaches to the last generator and there is no items left, then you get an error. So that's basically like a small way to loop over the value. But let's say if we have a lot of value, and how we can use the loop to in the generators using for loop with generator. Okay, so what we will be doing here is so we will call a generator function. We will create a generator function, and then we will use the loop to print the values of the generator function. So let's define our function sequence values. So let's say I want to create a sequence value, and I'll take a parameter as a number. Okay, now what I'll do is for I in range and then num, and then as I mentioned in order in the generator function. So whenever you want to convert a function to a generator, you need to give a yield keyword. So here what I do is yield and then I define I. Okay, so now let's call this out. So now so we can call this out using the for loop. So I'll say for I in, and then I will just call the function. So it's my generator function, and I'll pass the value. Let's say I'm passing the value 10. And then what I need to do here is I just need to provide print. So let's say I want to calculate and multiply by 5. Okay. So if I just print this, so what it will be doing is it's going to the loop one by one. And the best part here is you don't need to give the next again and again, and it will actually terminate as soon as it reaches to the last element. So that's the beauty of using the for loops with the generator function. So and it's faster also when we compare that to the list. So for an example, if I want to run that using list, so let's say I'll define range, and let's say the same 10, and we print I into 5. Okay, so so the same thing, but why I added this is it's a small exercise for you to go over and find the difference if we run this for larger value. Let's say I'm running this for 100,000 records, both as a generator and also as a list, and see the time difference, that which one is faster and how much time difference you're seeing. It's a small exercise, and please give your comments that what difference are you seeing, which one is faster, uh, and then another exercise I can say is you can actually create it's a very common question that comes in the interview, that create a Fibonacci series with first as using the list and also as a generator, and see the difference, because Fibonacci series keep on growing, and see the difference, like which one is faster. So that's a small video about generator. I hope you like it, and if you learn something, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.